Hare Krishna. Question from Promila Mataji. How can we reconcile the Bhagavad Gita 9.22 statement that Krishna provides for his devotees with the Bhagavatam statement that Krishna takes away everything from his devotees? Answer. These are statements given in different contexts. First, let us look at the context and then we will look at the universal principles. If you look at 9.22, what Krishna is contrasting the path of bhakti with the path of karma kanda. And the temporary nature of the results of karma kanda are talked about in 9.20-21. Taitam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam kshine punye martilokam mishanti. So they may attain heavens, but when the pious credit gets over, then they fall back to earth. And in this way they continue on cycle of birth and death. And in contrast, Krishna says, Ananya chintayanto mam yajana paripasate. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vaham. So those who are constantly engaged in my service, I protect what they have and I provide what they lack. Now this means essentially that in the process of bhakti, what is attained stays. What is attained is an eternal asset. And what is that asset? That is our love for Krishna. So at one level we understand this verse talking about contrasting the temporary material results of karma kanda with the eternal spiritual results of bhakti. So whatever bhakti we have accumulated, that will stay with us, and whatever bhakti we lack, that will also be provided for us. And that is what we will see in the whole section from 22 onwards talks about bhakti. Ahami sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhurevacha. That one who understands my supreme position, such a person is delivered, such a person is protected. Otherwise, a person who does not know this falls away. Tattve natashyamantite. Now, what is Krishna talking about in the Srimad Bhagavatam when he says, Yasyaham anugranami harishe tadhanam chane tato adhanam tadyatyasya swajana dukkha dukkhitaha. So there he is speaking about how he's answering the question of Yudhishthira Maharaj about how. So there is a big context over there. The focus is that misery can also be seen as mercy. So why? Because if that misery makes us take wholehearted shelter of the Lord, and without that misery, when we had other shelters, we do not take similar shelter of the Lord. So that's that. So misery can be seen as mercy of the Lord. Now if you see that there the context is, why do devotees suffer? Or as Parikshit Maharaj also asks, that why is it that the devotees of Shiva are prosperous and the devotees of Vishnu don't seem to be relatively poor? Now in that context, when sometimes miseries come upon devotees, this is an explanation. But if we see the Bhagavad Gita depicts a war that was fought for the sake of gaining a kingdom. And the Bhagavad Gita ends with an assurance based on Krishna's words that wherever Krishna and Arjuna are there, that means wherever the Lord and the devotee are united together in purpose, there will be victory. And the Pandavas did attain a victory. So the point is not that we can simplistically reduce the Lord's mercy to one particular thing. So sometimes the misery that may come in the life of a devotee, that may be mercy. And sometimes the victory that comes in the life of a devotee, the success, the fame, the glory, the power, the position that comes in the life of a devotee, that can also be mercy. Now, we may say that, yes, yasyaham anugrahanami harisheta dhanam shana. This verse applies perfectly to Srila Prabhupada in the sense that how he lost everything. One thing after another, everything was taken away. Yes, that is mercy. But then, later, as Prabhupada himself said, that the success that his movement enjoyed exceeded even his expectations. So, was that not mercy then? The phenomenal way in which so many people were attracted and became devotees, so many books were distributed, so many temples were built, and so many people's hearts and lives were transformed. And Prabhupada was able to share Krishna consciousness far and wide. That was also mercy. So the point of these verses is, the common denominator is that we should not reduce mercy to any particular stereotype. So is the attainment of material opulence mercy, or is the deprivation of material opulence mercy? No. either can be mercy. So when Krishna says, when the Bhagavad Gita is ending with Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama, that when the devotee is determined to serve the Lord, there will be victory. So that is also, that victory is a mercy of the Lord. In fact, at the end of the Kurukshetra war, Yudhishthir turns towards Krishna, and that is Arjuna's mood also, Arjuna's sentiment also. He says, Krishna, it was because of you we were able to win, otherwise it is impossible to win. Parikshit Maharaj also says that it was Krishna who enabled the Pandavas to win over the Kauravas. So the victory was also mercy, and sometimes the agony, the misery, the deprivation that comes, that can also be mercy. The important point to recognize is that Krishna always keeps a special eye on his devotees. Now, for what purpose specifically he may bring mercy in the life of a devotee, that can vary according to time, place, circumstance, and that reason we may not be able to understand also immediately. So rather than trying to worry about whether, if we start thinking that, oh, if some devotee is wealthy, then that means that Krishna has not bestowed mercy. Then we say Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was able to do Rajasuya Yajna, and Krishna himself came there, he was present for the Rajasuya Yajna. So was that not the mercy of the Lord? Yes, that was the mercy. And Yudhishthir Maharaj was later, during a gambling match, dispossessed of everything, and even at that time he remained fixed in dharma, and that was also the mercy of the Lord. So a devotee's attitude is that anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. Whatever happens in our life, we need to translate it into a way that it is anukul for our bhakti. So if some misery comes, we can reinterpret it devotionally as mercy by thinking that, oh, now I have nothing else to take shelter of Krishna, nothing else to take shelter of except Krishna. So let me just wholeheartedly absorb myself in Krishna. And when prosperity comes, at that time we can say, oh, now Krishna has given me so many resources by which I can share his message and his mission with others. So we focus primarily on how we can best serve Krishna. And if we try to go too much into analyzing either in our life or in others' life, is this mercy or is that mercy, then we may well miss out on the fundamental point that mercy is not stereotyped, that our relationship with Krishna is reciprocal, and what may seem to be not mercy but misery may turn out to be mercy for some, and what may seem not at all like misery, what may be like prosperity, may turn out actually not mercy. Some people, if they get prosperity, they may go away from Krishna, and some people, when they get misery, they may go away from Krishna. So there is no stereotype type way in which we can decide what is Krishna's mercy. We understand that whatever Krishna has done, ultimately we try to serve him in the best possible way. And when we see different scriptures and statements in scripture like this, we focus on the principle that, yes, just as there are different devotees who went through different situations, and through those different situations, they got realizations and they moved closer to Krishna. Similarly, whatever situation comes in my life, let me try to make sense of it in such a way that I can move closer to Krishna. So when misery comes unavoidably in our life, we see yasyaham anugranami. We take wholehearted shelter of Krishna. When too much anxiety or something is troubling us, and that is distracting us from doing what is in our hands, then we yogakshemam vahamya. Let me do what I can and let me leave other things to Krishna. Do your best, as we said, do your best and leave the rest to Krishna. And when we have something challenging to do and it is difficult for us to do it, and we may feel that, can I really do this? At that time, yatra yogeshwara Krishna yatra partho dhanudara tatra shri vijayo bhute dhruvani tirmatir mama. We can remember that Krishna, if we remain determined in service of Krishna, Krishna will enable us to attain victory. So basically, we should always try to stay enthusiastic in our practice of bhakti, and whatever circumstances come in our life, we try to devotionally retranslate or reinterpret them so as to make them anukul for our bhakti. And rather than judging that if a devotee is poor, rather than judging others, that whether somebody's adversity or somebody's prosperity is the Lord's mercy. We can focus primarily on how we can best serve Krishna, and if we are in a situation, how we can assist others in their service to Krishna. So, rather than trying to reduce mercy to some external forms, we focus on the principle that mercy is also dependent on how we respond to something. Otherwise, something may be a mercy, as they say in self-help circles. When opportunity knocks on the door, many people consider that just as a noise and neglect it. They consider that as an interference. So similarly, mercy may knock on our door, and if we have some stereotyped notions of mercy, we may actually neglect the mercy. So rather than worrying too much about what is mercy, what is not mercy, we focus on trying to stay devotionally connected with Krishna and trying to convert whatever comes in our life into an impetus for intensifying our service to Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.